So hi, Barb.
Hello.
I'm wondering, maybe the first thing I'm going to ask you in this interview, what were the challenges for you in writing your book?
For me, the challenges of writing the book were that sometimes my mind goes all over the place, thinking about how to get I want to put it in a way that makes sense, but it might not be like, for example, if I'm wanting to say something about what happened that I'm going to talk about in a little while about India, my mind might start at a different spot than what really happened, but that doesn't matter because I think in some ways that if it's different parts along the way, it will get the person that's helping you, like when Jim was helping me, he helped me figure out how to put it down so people would get the different parts, what part would be first and second and third and so on, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that the way we worked together on it was that you told me stories, I would write them down, you brought out scrapbooks and photograph albums and newsletters and newspaper clippings that your mom had saved, and we just kind of got everything down, and then later on we rearranged it into a way that you thought was more understandable for your readers. Now I'm kind of wondering, Barb, what made you originally decide to write a book, and how long have you been thinking about it?
I have been thinking about it for a while to write a book, but why I wrote a book, I think I wanted people to understand that anybody can write a book, and that understanding that we all have a story to tell, and that there's different ways of telling a story, by telling it in pictures or writing it, or it can be your own different way of doing it. It could be singing a song, for example. It could be a whole different thing that people haven't thought of, and that's okay.
What are some of the things you did in your autobiography that are maybe different than what other people would do in an autobiography? I know that humor is really important to you.
It is. Humor is important, to have quotes in there and to have recipes and just things that I think about sometimes when I'm thinking about different things, and how I see things happening to people.
You put recipes in your book, and I know we were talking about this earlier. Quite a few people have come to me to say that they've enjoyed your recipes, and one person told me that she uses your spicy spaghetti recipe every Friday night, and somebody else said that their father has fallen in love with your dad's recipe for turkey burgers. What made you decide to put some recipes in there?
I just thought that for me it's comfort, and thinking that people would, that's one thing that people can enjoy together, reading and enjoying a good meal and just talking about different things. And for me, it's also having memories of my parents who are both gone, but their recipes for the spaghetti was Mom's, and Dad's was the turkey burger. So they both comfort me a lot, those recipes, and I think of them when I make them sometimes.
So there's a lot of fairly serious topics in your book, and I think that the way that you decided to lay out the book in the end was that you had a pretty serious part, and then you'd lighten it up with some pictures. I know there's a picture of an elephant in there, a picture of a giraffe, and a bunch of your favorite quotes.
And the cow picture.
And do you remember what it says under the cow picture?
I think we'll be talking about this till the cows come home. And that's one of my favorites.
Awesome. So, in talking about some of the more serious aspects of your book, what do you think are some of the more important ideas that you discuss?
I think sterilization, double standards. Those two are very important to me. Thinking that sometimes people are still sterilized without their consent, and double standards. Thinking about people who are that there's people, so-called normal people, or normates as I call them, think that they can do it one way, but we can't do it that way. And what I mean by that is, like, if someone wants to stay, if a normate wants to stay up till 10 o'clock at night, and a person with a diverse ability wants to stay up late, they can't, because the staff won't, for example, the staff won't let them because they say it's too late or something. Or if someone wants to do something different, people will kind of boo-hoo it and not let them try it. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I've come across in my 58 and plus 2 days, or 1 day.
Yes, happy birthday, Barb.
Thank
it was
you.
Just your birthday the other day.
It was.
On Facebook it says you're 106 years old.
I am. I'm 106 and holding.
I know that a couple of the other ideas you discuss in your book, one is labels. Would you like to say something about your thoughts on labels?
Labels hurt people, and label jars and not people. And I think labels hurt people in a lot of ways. And if you label something, sometimes it makes the people or person feel bad about themselves.
So there's a new term you've been using rather than disability, and I wonder if you wanted to talk about that a little bit.
I have a friend, her name's Shelley, and she uses the word diverse ability, and I love the word because we all have diverse abilities, and what that means in my mind, different disabilities. We're not all the same.
So what advice do you have for other people out there, other self-advocates who might want to write a book?
I think just go for it. Just write anything you want, and heck with the other people. Write whatever you if you're thinking about talking about something that is really out there, go for it. Just write whatever you like, and get people to support you, that want to help you go for your dream.
Excellent. When you first started talking to the folks at Spectrum about writing your book, they asked you whether you wanted it to be a biography, which would mean somebody like me writing your story for you, or an autobiography, which was you writing your story yourself. And you were very clear right from the beginning that you wanted it to be an autobiography. And why is that, Barb?
I wanted to be able to write it my way, and having someone help me do it my way. And also that I had tried to do do it myself, but it didn't work because when I was trying to write it my mind went all over the place and I couldn't keep it straight. And with the talking on the on the tape recorder, sorry, I just couldn't think of the word. But anyway, so when I talked on the tape recorder, I didn't like my voice, and also I was all over the place. And that was another thing, that I was going to call the book Scattered Matter, but I'm glad I named it what I did. This is the Goode Life.